Let's talk about your album, New King. Yeah. It's released since February, includes 27 songs. Why did we have to wait 9 years for new music?
Yeah, a lot has, gone on in my life, and on a professional level, it was just not right. I don't want to, go through the long story of the whole thing, but I just didn't feel comfortable where I was at. With the label that I was at. So, I went through a lot of changes, and now I feel very comfortable and excited about my team. So everything just kind of fell into place.
So would you say that you're processing own experiences in the new songs?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think at my age now, having lived so much life, I can emote better. I can write songs better. I can, tell my story a little better than when I was younger. And I think that just comes with time. It comes with age, and just the fact that I've been doing this for so long. I feel like I polished everything to a whole different level.
What is the most meaningful song of your album?
I think You and I hits me the hardest. Every song is meaningful in a different way, but You and I think I have a very special connection to that particular song.
So let's talk about your song, Spicy Margarita. It's very hot, it's very central. What was the idea behind the song with Michael Bublé?
So Michael was talking to me about how the American Songbook was the genesis of pop music, and he's like, I'm so curious why more people don't use the American Songbook, and I was just like, hold that thought, and I went to the drawing board, and I started to play with a lot of different songs from the American Songbook, like he spoke about, and this one, it just kind of stuck. It was a skeleton version of what you hear today for Spicy Margarita. And I sent it to him. I was like, let me send it to him, see what he thinks. He's like, Jason, you're an effing genius. He went on and did his thing and added an orchestra to it. And I think, I'm so glad that the world is enjoying it so much.
So it's a sample of Sway. Would you say that sampling songs is kind of a trend these days? So do you sometimes feel kind of pressure to go with new music trends?
People say that all the time, but it's been done since the beginning of time, since before we were born. So Elvis rarely sang original songs. He only, mostly sang covers and jazz hymns and those kinds of things. Whitney Houston's biggest song was a cover of Dolly Parton. I Will Always Love You as a cover. So people talk about trends, and there's nothing really new in music. Things... These things have been going on since the beginning of time, and all the songs that we know and love, from the world's biggest and greatest producers and artists, like from, Kanye West to Jay-Z, have all used samples in the majority of their material, So it's not new, but I'm glad that you felt like it was that it was new. But Sway, it made sense because actually, one of the biggest versions of Sway was done by Michael Bublé, and I think that's why this worked so well. It was like magical.
So you always give the songs, of course, your own touch, your own direction.
Oh, have to. Otherwise, then you're just singing the same thing that someone else did.
Yeah. So we talked about Spicy Margarita. What's your favorite drink when you go out?
My favorite drink actually is a mojito. I don't really have mojitos all the time because there's a lot of sugar in them, but that's my favorite drink. The Spicy Margarita, though, is if somebody can make it the right way, it's got to be the right amount of spice, then it's good.
I never tried this before, but it's kind of a trend drink these days. Spicy Margarita,
sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I have to try this out.
You got to try it.
You're touring a lot of years, since about 14 years. So what was the craziest gig experience?
I mean, I think this tour is by far my craziest touring experience. I think the size of the tour is bigger than I've ever done, but also coming straight from a pandemic into it makes it all feel even bigger because, you know, we were all locked up in our houses and I was still doing shows, but I was doing shows at my house, right? And I was doing like live stream shows and stuff like that.
Started with TikTok and
Yeah,
social media.
so like to be out amongst, you know, the fans, I think it's a beautiful thing, up close and personal, you know, face to face, you know, there's nothing like it.
Yeah. And how do you relax when you come home? What is the first thing you do after a tour?
When I get home?
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna make more music, honestly. 2024, I really just wanted to focus on music this year. We're all around the table at you know, our New Year's dinner. I asked everybody to say what they wanted to do this year, like what was their New Year's resolution, and mine was to really just focus on music, you know, and that has to do with touring, that has to do with making music, everything that has, you know, to do with my music career is what I wanted to focus on. So when I get home, honestly, I'll probably just be making music.
So we can get more excited for more music maybe this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I heard in another interview that you said your mom didn't want you to release "Talk Dirty." Yeah. How does she think nowadays about the song?
Oh yeah, I mean, she of course she's like, okay, I was wrong on that one, but yeah, she thought it was gonna be the end of my career. So now she cautiously gives me her opinion on the songs.
It's good that you listen to your own heart and that you did it. I mean, it's one of your most popular songs.
Definitely.
So you also wrote a book.
Yeah, Sing Your Name Out Loud.
Yeah. Which advice would you give the younger Jason?
I would give him a lot of advice, but the most, I guess, the most pointed advice that I would give would be to trust your gut. You know, a lot of doors were shut in my face. A lot of no's. I mean, for me to have continued, I had to be a little out of my mind, a little crazy, because you know, there was no real signs that I was gonna succeed. You know. But I believed it so much in my heart that I just kept going for it. So I would just tell myself to stay the course, you know, and don't listen to the naysayers and just try to be yourself more so than anything.
And always manifest your goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
One last question. What is your personal red flag, bad habit that you sometimes maybe want to change?
About myself?
Yeah.
I'm always late. So yeah, if I could change one thing, I'll be a little better with time.
Okay.